Welcome back to Filibusters with Donna and John. Donna, that was an awesome interview
It sure was.
because I
And
asked questions. That's what I
right,
got.
I know you started out. I said, "What's going on here?"
What is he doing? Why is he asking the questions here? But we actually have somebody else in the studio with us now. Let's get these elections local.
That's right. And it is that time of year. We have two county council races that are pretty significant here in Clark County. One of them is District 3, and there are three people running in that race, and we'll probably talk to some of them later. The other one is District 4, and there are five people in that race. So we have with us today Dorothy Gasque, and we're looking forward to hearing about her plans for County Council District 4. So, Dorothy, welcome.
Hi, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're happy to have you here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and the why you're running for the District 4 County Council seat?
I think like a lot of people, I've been frustrated with sort of the ineffectiveness of local government and the lack of transparency. It's been getting worse. It seems like they took advantage of the pandemic and decided to really kind of hide from people and hide a lot of what's going on. And, we have a lot of big issues facing us. We need transparency.
Yeah, I think it caught a lot of people by surprise that Karen Bowerman and Gary Medvedji decided not to run.
Me included, yeah.
And so that has left two open seats. Tell us a little bit about what you might want to do if you're elected as a county councilor.
Well, I think step one is kind of repairing that lost trust with the public and really kind of opening things back up, even if it means we get yelled at. It's part of the job. And I've been really like hearing this a lot from people as I'm talking to them out in the community is that they're just frustrated with the fact that the council isn't listening. And, we talk about like what's happening with Camp Bonneville, and there's a lot of lack of transparency. And it's a situation in which we do need to be open and honest with people, especially if we want to open it up as recreation space. You know, unexploded ordinances aren't something we need to mess around with and ignore.
So, I think a lot of folks may not know or may not remember that you were actually part of the charter review that happened just recently. And
Yes.
you probably gained some experience from that. And one of the things that we were actually just talking about before we started here was the fact that out of that came the fact that the county council seats and all of the county level positions are now nonpartisan. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with that?
The real reason why I wanted this to put this forward to the public to vote on is that, we're seeing this hyper partisanship happening. And I think that it's part of the reason that local government becomes so ineffective is they're getting caught up in issues that they don't even have, the power to affect or change. And what we needed the government to focus on is land use and, fixing potholes. They don't need to be talking about the wedge issues.
Okay, I mean, obviously, I appreciate that. One of the things that is talked about a lot now is like the Chalachi Prairie Railroad and what's going on with that and what the county can or cannot do with that. What are your thoughts about that?
I think that, again, this is the place where transparency needs to come into play. I think, and for some reason, these issues have become so adversarial instead of it just being like, let's hear from the public and let's see what people want to have happen. And let's really focus on, that's the core thing, right? It's up to the public to decide how we use land. And, bringing back that transparency and looking at the contracts we have with the railroad and trying to make it, you know, more open and more honest and more transparent. And in the end, I think we can make a better decision.
How would you do that if you were in charge right now, both with Camp Bonneville and with Chalachi Prairie? What kind of process are you thinking of?
I'm thinking that for one, I need to see the records more, and really kind of think about what's going on here. And I think that if we can bring back that feeling of transparency and we can start looking at this from a perspective of what's good for the public versus what's good for an individual who's going to make money off of these projects or whatever. Part of that too is the reason I'm running is, with the charter review, I worked hard to get us an ethics policy in our charter. But the county council is yet to actually write a code of ethics. At this point, they just point to already existing state law. And so we need to have a code of ethics that really restricts conflict of interest. And then I think that we can have a better conversation when it's a government for the people and not a government for the people who donate to campaigns.
Right. And how would you prepare for being on the council, or how are you preparing?
Yeah, I'm spending a lot of time talking to people who deal with a lot of these issues, like especially around Camp Bonneville, Chalachi Prairie, and just the general day-to-day running of the government. I think being on the Charter Review Commission was a big preparation for this position. It gave me an eye-opening experience of how the county government functions. We didn't get as much support this time around as the original freeholders did. And seeing sort of like that happen and wondering when we're all paying more in taxes because our property values have all gone up, why is the government getting less functional when they have more money? So that's where I'm starting with this, and I think I'm good at working with people. I'm good at staying on task. That's part of what the military teaches you, is to stay on mission no matter the obstacles. And I think that that's just, I come into this already pretty well prepared. And then it just, it's all about listening to the people.
Well, speaking of that, we didn't ask you, who are you? Tell us. So you just mentioned being in the military, and I'm not sure that everyone who's listening knows who you are. So this is an opportunity to tell them.
So I served in the military straight out of high school. I'm actually a military brat, so most of my life has been spent at the will of the Army. But I joined the Army out of high school. I deployed to Iraq in 2005. I was actually the only woman in an all-male combat unit. And I have sort of combat experience you wouldn't expect from a woman. I actually led combat patrols, I did traffic control points, I did base security, and I participated in raids. After the military, I chose Clark County as my home because of how beautiful it was, and at the time it was affordable back in 2008. But that's gone now, and that's something that I think we need to work on bringing back, that this be a place that everyone who lives here can afford. I went to college and got my math degree from Portland State, and I also attended a data science program from Bloom Tech, and I currently work as a data engineer, and I want to bring some of that data focus and data-driven decision-making to the government. I think that that's some of the things when we talk about affordable housing, we're not doing a good job of tracking how we're actually creating affordable housing. Like, are we closing the gap? What does affordable even mean? Where are the missing parts? And, when we're doing things like this multifamily tax exemption, are the units actually staying affordable? And are there enough available for the people who need them?
So obviously affordable housing is an important issue. But one of the things that the council needs is to have public involvement with regards to that. How would you encourage or get people to be able to attend meetings more or be able to participate more with the council?
I think we need to open up public comment at every meeting. I think the fact that they put it down to one time a month makes it very difficult for people to be able to attend those meetings. Also, we do too much of the county work during the workday. And I think that there needs to be more opportunities for people who work to participate in government.
Yeah, that makes sense. So this council has been pretty divided. How do you see yourself fitting into the council, the existing council?
Well, I think that the people who were elected in the last election cycle, when it was nonpartisan, I think they bring more of a rational, less divided voice to the table. And that, finishing up that round of races now with the 3rd and 4th district, I think that we're going to have a lot less division.
Okay.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about how people can get a hold of you or find out more about you?
Well, hopefully my website will be up in the next few days, but it is dorothygasque.com. I guess I can spell that out for you guys. DorothyGasque.com.
Awesome. And any social media sites that you're on?
Facebook, I think Instagram.
Okay.
Not really.
Obviously, we're still early on in the process and
Yeah.
everything, and getting everything up and going is the bailiwick of all candidates, right? But one of the things that I was thinking about is that obviously your district is more North County.
No, we
No.
actually don't have North County anymore. The addition of
that's
the
right,
5th
that's right, that's
district
So, yeah,
took
tell
away
us
the
about-
North County.
Tell us about your district.
So the district now includes Washougal, Camas, Hawkinson, some of Brush Prairie, goes up to Battleground, but doesn't include Battleground. And then we have a section of orchards in Vancouver.
Okay, so now it's more southeast.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And because obviously that's going to be important that people know you as a candidate. Obviously, there are people that are running for District 4. What are they in? Because, everything changed, right? We were
Yeah.
just talking with Secretary Hobbs about the redistricting and how that's affected not only just the redistricting process in and of itself, but the fact that then they had to come in and switch around some of the districts at the federal level saying, no, you guys got to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't tell you how much we're thankful for you coming in again. We're here with Dorothy Gasque. She's a candidate for District 4 for the Clark County Council. You can find her again at dorothygasque.com. And thank you for coming
Yeah,
in.
thank you, Dorothy. Glad to see you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Well, you're listening to Filibusters with Donna and John, and we'll be right back.